Hello everyone. So I got this Yale push padlock a while back, and I just screwed it up. I had it shimmed open. That's how I got that sucker open, but I was pushing this back and it just locked up, so I'll have to shim it again to get it open. But that's how you can get a push key padlock done, is basically get a core shim. Go in here and there's 4 pins in this case, and I was working on that shackle, cleaning it up a little bit. I had tried to Bogota this thing and it wouldn't open, and single pin pick it, I couldn't get it open, and I was pushing this shim in here just to get some of the gunk out, and then a little light came on in my head that said, hey, you probably can shim this thing the way you would core shim a normal lock. And sure enough, that's all you got to do is go in there and push those guys up, and you'll have it shimmed. So I'm going to stop the video right now because it takes a little while for me to shim this thing. It's not super fast. And once I do, I'll open it for you. Okay, so I'm back. What happened was I started shimming this thing, and it wouldn't go down to the third. I couldn't get the third pin to shim. So I put it in a vise, and make sure I got all that shim out. It sure doesn't feel like a whole shim. Anyways, I put it in the vise and picked the last pin. Now, the reason why I wanted to get this open, I mean, besides having a lock open, you know, you can get to there and clean a lot better, is you can also disassemble this guy. This one doesn't quite fit in perfectly, but there's some squared out notches in here, and you rotate this guy out. Like this. And that's how you can disassemble this lock, is basically once you get this popped up, there's a little spring underneath here, and you pull it to the right, off to the right this way, and then you can pull the shackle out, which is the core. Basically, the core is riding in the shackle, and the lock body is the Bible, is the way this thing works. But I needed to get these pieces out to clean it and disassemble it. Look how shiny that bronze is compared to what was on the surface. Right, so, and as usual, there's a little pin right there. As usual, guttings with me never go simply, so I'm expecting the worst. Alright, so I've got it up, and you could just do the no follower method, which is what I'm going to do. Get my tweezers out and prepare for disaster. Might be alright. I might actually have a good de-pinning, or whatever the hell you call it, gutting. There we go. I'll just pull this guy back and catch them as they come out. Now, the reason why I want to do this also, besides doing maintenance, you know, on the core, I'll pull these out there's only 4 pins, I'll show you later after I get them out, is you can make a pin this way. I mean, you can make a key this way. You basically have your, that guy's got a little spool on him. I'll set them up the way they came out. A little spool action on that one. Sorry, I'm just taking my time in here because I don't want to mess anything up. That looks like a standard pin. And the last one. He's way back there. And he jumped out. Right, so let me scoot these guys down so we can get a better look at them. And since there's 4 pins, pull this guy all the way out. And we have our key pins hiding over here. I can also clean this core up. But basically you get a key to fit in here. And I was watching Lock Butcher Shop video on this. He would get a key to sit in there, and he would have one that's sitting, making them sit a little bit high like that, and then he would just file the key down to make sure that they're flush. And, you know, basically that's all you need to do is find something that'll fit that. It's a pretty flat warding. There's no warding in there, so it's, you just get something that'll fit in there and stick it up, and then you'll have a working key. My main purpose right now is just to clean this up. And let me show you the pins that are hiding here. Pretty interesting. Those look like serrations, but I understand that's just from the manufacturing process. So you have, they look like tiny little serrations. And my spools are filled with gunk. And this one, because this lock has been sitting here. It looked like basically 3, let me see if I can get that to focus. There we go. See the gunk up on the, in my spools. I'll clean those up and put those back in. And I'll also clean the core up and clean the shackle up and everything else. But there you go. That's one way to get in. Is I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of this. But like I said, a light came on in my head. Hey, if you're having a hard time getting those out, that looks just like it's possible to course them, because they can't have a lip on the end to prevent you from getting in there, because the core has to go in. So any push pin lock like that should be core shimmable. And look at all the gunk on my hands. It's definitely a dirty lock, but this thing is, you know, at least from pre-1925 or so. So there we go. We've got something to do, something to clean up. I hope everyone's having a good time. I'm enjoying my vintage locks and playing around with them. I've got a Corbin push key coming in like this and another Yale. Neither one of them have keys, but who needs keys when you've got shims?